What? Y'all good? I have missed y'all. Like, how y'all been? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, I miss y'all so much. Welcome back to another episode of One Being Brave. I'm your host, Domo Jones. We in there. We in there. Okay. How y'all doing? Like, y'all straight? I know I haven't seen y'all since 2 weeks, man. Like, but we're gonna get into it. All right, so let's get into the house rules. You already know. Top one of the night: no profanity. We don't do that on this show. Like, come on, man. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. We don't do that on this show. Also, no bashing of race, religion, gender, politics, or sexual preferences. Why? Because from one blood, he made all of them nations. You feel me? So we basically like kinfolk, auntie, uncle, cousin them, brother them, sister them, grandpa from the foot. Okay, cause y'all know. Okay, just I hope y'all know, cause I know, and I hope y'all know that all y'all invited to the barbecue, and tell them who sent you. Me. Who gonna check for me? Cause who gonna? Oh, okay. Cause okay. Okay, friend. Okay, friend. Also, the show is called One Being Brave because it represents the 1 billion people of the world that have a disability and or medical condition. Okay, so with that being said, the old heads, you already know what I'm about to say. But the newcomers, like, y'all just catch on real quick. Y'all ready for it? Get you one of us in your circle. I said it once, and I'm gonna say it again. Get you one of us in your circle because I'm telling you, like, we are top tier. We are. I mean, like, I ain't even trying to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna toot the community's horn because the community is top tier. Like, we the best of the best. It don't get no better. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I'm also gonna say very confidently, you're welcome. Uh-huh. Because once you get you one of us, you're gonna be like, how come y'all didn't even? I tried. Y'all ain't want to hear me though. But do you hear me though? Okay. I not even have my V8 this night. So this is a natural. It's a natural high. You feel me? It's a natural high. Okay, also, one of the most important rules of the night and of the show is we do talk about Jesus Christ on this show. Like, I don't know what them other shows be doing, and that ain't none of my business. But over here, around here, we talk about Jesus Christ. He the main thing, so we're gonna keep him the main thing, because he the number one stunner with what? The number one. You have a medical issue. I don't want to do. What? Grandma, that's not a medical issue. What? And why are you doing jury duty? What? Uh-uh. Mm-mm. Tell him to go back to the drawing board. Pull another name. Last rule. This rule is shoot, what's my that threw me off, grandma. Because that was really funny. Oh, okay. So the last house rule is this show is one of the only shows, confidently saying, that has a hostess with a disability that interviews guests with disabilities, medical conditions, and we also have essential caregivers. I guess you know what that means. Lady O, Tyler Perry, and Mother Ava DuVernay. I'm coming to the houses. Like, I'm coming to all y'all houses. We coming. Me and Milan. Like, we coming. We in there. Big time. Lady O, I'm coming to the house. The weather needs to let up a little bit. But we can go inside. Chop it up. At the kitchen counter. Then I'm going to go up the street real quick. 2 blocks. We're going to go to Tyler Perry's. We can go to your house. We can go to your studio. We can go to your pilot center. You choose. You send me your location, and I'm there. Then I'm going to go up the street around the corner real quick to lock a fella because me and April DuVernay about to get our locks retwisted and we're gonna chop it up. I mean, like, I'm already tired because my schedule about to be so full. All these meetings, all these massive meetings that I'm gonna have, and I'm ready for it. So just just get all the answers out the way. Nice to meet you. My name is Domo. All that. All right. So now they got the antics out the way because when we see each other, we got to talk business. And that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. All right. So let's get into the brave heart for this week. Gabe, who we got? Who we got? Like, who we got for this week? Okay. Listen. Gabe, she doesn't. That's not her. Oh, it is her. No, you're right. That was on me. Okay, so I'm okay. Hopefully, I can say yes. This is Yuki. I said it right. Boom. Her medical condition is dwarfism, but I feel like that's not it. But I feel like it is. Okay, but it don't matter. It don't matter because she's dope anyway. First of all, her style is super fly. I like the knee highs and the shoes is fly. Like she's a fly. I love the fact that you can have people that have disabilities and medical conditions and they're confident enough to wear it well. And this is one that wears it well. Come on. Yes, this is Yuki. I appreciate you. And she's in Toronto. Come on. That's super dope. Wonder how it is out there. Thank you. This is Yuki for being the brave heart for this week. I definitely appreciate it. Don't take it lightly. Thank you for being confident in who you are and where you are and what you have. That's what makes us us. Like you represent people that do have medical conditions, but you also represent people that can live beyond it. That's it. Like that's the whole goal. Boom. All right. So last week, you guys did not see me because I what happened? Okay, so child, for those that live in Cali, y'all know this weather is weathering. And for what? Like, I just don't get it. It's sunny, it's windy, it's raining, then it's sunny again, what? Figure it out. Like, enough's enough. I'm sick of it. Pipe it down. And so that's literally what happened to me last week. I was sick as a dog, had no voice, sleep. I mean, it was just, and I couldn't do y'all like that because y'all were not gonna get this energetic person. You guys were not gonna get that. Y'all was gonna get a super dry, mundane, and went. Because when I come on here, I gotta come on here like I come on here. What? How do you come on here? That you didn't even say nothing. No, like you said nothing. We're gonna try it again. When I come on here, I gotta come on here my best. You messed it up. So we just gonna move on because yeah, that was horrible. Anyhow, I'm super glad that um I'm better and I'm glad that I'm trying to protect myself because it's still like raining and windy and where is the summer at? Jesus. Like, could you come? Like, where you hiding and why? Who told you gotta hide? Somebody needs to come on back. Stand your ground. Somebody needs to stand on business because you're not. You being real, you being real fickle, and you being real soft. Stand strong. Some. Stand strong. It's your time to shine. You feel me? So, okay. Stand when you come out full, come out, guns loaded. Cause this your area. This where you supposed to be. Don't let them other weathers take over. Come on, Summer. Y'all know. You know. You know what? You know how to get down with the get down. This all about you. Claire. Summer, stand your ground. Child. because we need it. How about that? We need it because we sick of bundling up and snotting and taking Theraflu, and then we burning up, sweating because it's 98 degrees outside, and then tomorrow it's gonna be 62. What? We ain't got to live like that. Choose you this day. We can't be hot or cold. Okay, choose ye this day. Okay, I'm done with that. All right, so my next guest. I am super, super, super grateful, and I cannot wait to talk to her and delve into the conversation and hear her journey. And I can't wait for her to share her experience. I mean, like, I'm excited. I'm excited about it. We finally got the dog on time zones together because good night, nurse. Ciao. Okay, so without further ado, let's bring on my next guest, Melissa. Let's go.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, girl. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, girl. I'm ready to buckle. Are you ready to go? Are you ready? This is gonna be a good. This is gonna be a good conversation. I am ready to go.
I am super excited. Let's go. All right, so let's get it. So, for those that don't know, for the people in the back, can you tell us where you're from and what you do?
Hey, y'all. My name's Melissa Miller. I'm a former certified nursing assistant. I did that work in long-term care health facilities for 15 years, and now I am a full-time stay-at-home mom, spousal caregiver for my husband, and I'm also a caregiver and business coach over at Caregiving Entrepreneurship Reimagined.com, where I help entrepreneurs who are struggling with learning how to be a caregiver, as caregiving is probably not their first skill set.
Let's go. Okay, so can you get into the caregiving world? Like, how did you even get into wanting to be a caregiver?
Well, professionally, when I was, 'cause this goes back, y'all, this goes back to when I was a little girl. I grew up watching a lot of medical shows. I loved Rescue 911, ER, Chicago Hope. I was just fascinated with how God built our bodies. It was just so fascinating to me. And so by the time I was a senior in high school, I knew I wanted to get in the healthcare industry, but I wasn't strongest in like math and science. Those were not my strongest subjects. So
Mm-hmm.
like being a nurse or a doctor probably wasn't the most appropriate. But there in the world of nursing, there's called certified nursing assistants, and you don't need a lot. You don't need to be as strong in in those skills. And so CNAs do a lot of the hard work. So bathing, dressing, assistance with mobility, vitals. Those are the things that I would do every day with my patients, basically all day long. And basically, CNAs are very important. They don't get, thank you, Jackie, they don't get the credit that they deserve in terms of, because we're the eyes and ears of the nurse. We spend the most amount of time with the patients on a
Mm-hmm.
daily basis for 8 hours, whereas the nurses and doctors, they have a much more, like my I would have 15 to 30 patients, but the nurses and doctors I worked with would have, twice or three times that. So their rounds were a lot more harder than mine were. So, but it was my job, because since I spent the most time with the patients, to be able to go, hey, Mr. Jones was fine yesterday, but today he can't stand or walk. Something's wrong. And then that
Mm-hmm.
would kind of trigger the medical team about, okay, let's figure this out. What's going on? Is it because his illness is progressing, or is it because he's having a reaction to a treatment, a medication, or is something else brewing? So CNAs, a lot of love to my fellow CNAs out there. Even though I don't practice anymore as a CNA, a lot of love out to all my CNAs, because it's hard work. It's hard work,
Yeah.
and it does not get the recognition it does. But then, so then fast forward to my online career, if you will, that came about because my husband 4 years ago was unexpectedly diagnosed with epilepsy. He had no medical
Mm-hmm.
history, which is usually how it's caught with epilepsy or seizure disorders, usually as a child, or if you have, a loved one that has had it, there is a chance that you might contract a seizure disorder as well. But then there is 20% of the population that, for no apparent reason, contracts a seizure disorder. And so I built my business out of a need to find something to bring in income and also have the flexibility I needed to care for my then 1 year old daughter when he was diagnosed, and also care for my husband. Because with seizure disorders, basically what's happening is damage is happening to your brain every time you have a seizure. Signals that are in your brain that should not be there are happening, and they're causing damage. And unless they're stopped and manage, it can impact not only your short-term memory, but your long-term memory and a number of other things. And so
Right.
me needing to be home full time was the whole reason I created my business. And also I just wanted to find a way to share the knowledge and skills that I've gained from my healthcare career in a new way. And
Right.
obviously how helping entrepreneurs who are maybe obviously genius in some other area. Not everyone has the benefit of 15 years in the healthcare industry when they're
Hmm.
navigating
Hmm.
caring for a grant for their grandparents or aging parents, or maybe even a spouse like myself, or even maybe, God forbid, a chronically ill child. So
Right. Right. So for you as a in the profession of being a CNA, what was something that you learned that maybe someone that has no clue, like to just kind of like help when it comes to being a CNA, when it comes to wanting to delve into the world of being a CNA?
Um, it's hard, especially if you choose to work in a long-term care facility because you're dealing with what I call the twilight years. So I worked with
Hmm.
elderly dementia patients, and but as hard as it was, one of the beautiful things from that experience is that I just developed a love for that community, for those patients, that age demographic, because a lot of the time these people are isolated from their families because either they're either the last of their family, all their other family has passed
Hmm.
on, or maybe they have not had a happy relationship with their family, so there's that disconnect and separation. Or maybe it's a situation where they have a good relationship with their family, but they're in a whole different state. And with them
Oh
being
yeah.
elderly and sick, they don't have the means to see their families as much as they would like. And so as a CNA, we really become their family, and we really grow attached. And you're not supposed to have favorites or anything like that, but I loved these people, and I
Yeah.
loved getting to also connect and get to work with their families too as well.
Was it stressful for you working as a CNA, and then also having all the patients that you had to care for and look after? Was that difficult for you?
It was. It was a lot. Let me back up. My brain's getting ahead of my mouth. Sorry.
It's
But
okay.
it was hard because you want to do right by every single, like, you put yourself, as at least for me, I put myself in my shoes. If it was my loved one, how would I want them treated? And how would I want to be respected when I'm trying to advocate and make sure that they get the best help possible?
Hmm.
And it's tough, and it's tough when you get to that point where they are going. And even when, being on the flip side of that, I lost my parents back to back within the last 2 years, and they had multiple chronic health issues. I was actually my dad's caregiver for the last 2 years of his life until he passed. And even though I knew it was coming, it was still hard. It still hits you.
Yeah.
Grief is just a horrible thing, and it
Yeah.
makes it very intense when you're dealing with that, when you know it's coming, and you're seeing your loved one go
Right.
through
Right.
just horrible things from
Yeah.
health that's
That's
not their fault, or that
right.
you even have any control over. That's the hard part.
That's the hard part. You don't even have control. It's almost just like you have to take it and accept it for the journey that it is, or
Mhm.
that you're going into.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
yeah. As human beings, we like to have control, don't we? And when you're thrust into a situation where you don't have control, or like, I know for me, speaking from my experience, one of the things that was really hard for me when my husband got sick was I was dealing a lot. Didn't have that sense of control of I really didn't have sense of control because I was dealing with an illness that in my 15-year career I never dealt with. In my 15-year career, I never had a patient that was diagnosed with epilepsy or had a seizure disorder. So, and it was even more frustrating when, upon doing research, that you found out, oh, epilepsy is not curable. There's no streamlined treatment to date. It's pretty much because we're dealing with the brain, and there's so much that we don't know about the brain. It's like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, essentially, when you're trying to come up with
mm,
a treatment plan. And I'm sure a lot of other chronic illnesses out there too, still, that are in that stage of, well, we know that it happens, but we don't know why. We don't know how to come up with a streamlined treatment to where it's kind of more across the board, and not just and more and not and more individualistic, where we can be really precise with science, or
Yeah.
medical treatment where we can be precise with like, okay, this person has this specific type, so we know we need to do this, or this person has this type of the illness and we need to do X, Y, and Z. So it's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
when you don't have those nice black and white answers that we would, as human beings, we really like to have that sense of control.
Yeah, so true. So as we delve into you being a personal caregiver, can you tell people what, for those that don't know, what epilepsy is and how did you find out that your husband had it? Like, what did that process look like?
Well, my husband started when he started out, we didn't know it was even seizures. Like I even didn't think it was a seizure at the beginning because all he was having was like these little blackout episodes. And so,
Hmm.
thinking with my medical brain, because my husband is 20 years my senior. And so, obviously having a newborn in your 50s, early 50s is a little bit different than when you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
I was in my early 30s, he was in his early 50s when our daughter was born. So, obviously I was thinking initially like, "Oh, he's just tired, working 40 plus hours a week, being up all night in your early 50s with a newborn. Hello, you're going to be tired."
Hmm.
But yeah, he just had these random episodes. Like the very first one I remember, it was very weird. We woke up at 4:30 in the morning to change our daughter's diaper. I stepped out of the room to do something. I came back, he had this blank look on his face. I asked him if he was okay and he got three words out, "I don't know," and passed out. He was out for a couple seconds. I caught our daughter in time, thank heavens. And when he came to, he didn't remember anything. And he didn't have any, and it was totally out of the blue. No other symptom like the usual thing when someone gets sick, like, "Oh, I don't feel well," or, "Oh gosh, I'm having this pain," or something
Hmm.
that's kind of ongoing. It was just instantaneous. I had no idea. And he had two more episodes like that. He had one in December of 2019, one in March, and then one in March and January of 2020. And then thank goodness, and we did start seeing the doctor, and thank goodness his doctor said, "I'm no expert here, but I'm guessing with the information you're telling me is that it's neurological, and so you need to
Hmm.
see a neurologist." So I'm thankful we got steered in the right direction, but I had no clue
Yeah.
because I didn't know what to look for. This was all
Right.
brand new to me. And so it was like, okay, now what?
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, but typically
Mm.
seizure disorders are epilepsy in particular. It's diagnosed when you have what's called a cluster. So like two or three more seizures, like really close together. Now, my husband's were really slow. The first 3 months, he had three in the span of 3 months, but then April 2020 on for like the next year and a half, he averaged 10 to 20 plus seizures a month. It was bad. And
Wow.
so, yeah, so and if you look at his MRI scans to date, you can see that his left front temporal lobe actually is smaller because it shrunk from all the subsequent seizures
Hmm.
and signals in the brain that's happening that should not be there, that are not normal.
So for him, when it comes to him having his episodes, is he the type, well, is his side effect the type where he falls asleep for a little bit or he's out for a little bit and he doesn't remember, or he's out for a long time?
It
What is
varies.
his okay.
His it's interesting that you asked that because everyone's different. For him, his common symptom is that he'll maybe kind of stare off, or um he'll have left temple pain on either side.
Hmm.
He'll be unresponsive. Sometimes he'll just pass out altogether and then he's out. Other times it'll start slow where he's kind of there, but then he's just gradually becomes more and more not there. It's been different every time. Now he hasn't had one in about a year, which is huge,
Yeah.
but for him, but with this history, it's been hit and miss. It's been different every single time.
So is there like a trigger that you notice that it's coming, or does it just come out the blue? Is there something that you kind of can tell, like, oh, he's about to?
If he starts to grab his temple or become nonverbal or not kind of or not like I talk to him but he doesn't respond right away,
Hmm.
that's when I know something might be brewing. Does it always go to that point? Not always. But yeah, it just depends. It just depends.
Yeah, yeah. So for you, like, now you're in a space to where you're a new mom, and You have your husband that now has this medical condition that you don't know about. So for you, what did that balance of taking care of an infant and then also taking care of your husband, how was that for
That
you?
it was a disaster. I totally burned out, and I already had one. I personally already had one health condition. I've had hypothyroidism since I was 22, and I got really bad gut attacks from that. So I went plant based, and I was trying to manage that. But then, I ended up when I was that first year, it was so hard. We were shut down from a pandemic because of the pandemic, so I felt isolated and alone because I couldn't access my family over, like we would normally do.
Mm,
I was scared to death because I was researching and finding out all this information. Like, oh, guess what? This condition's not curable. There's no standard treatment. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. So that's scary when we're new parents and and I'm worried about my husband potentially dying, having a seizure where he does die, and
mm-hmm.
then being a widow at in my early 30s with a 1-year-old. So that was scary. And then just, worried for my daughter, it was scary. And so I did not take care of myself. I did skipped wellness visits. I didn't manage my stress very well. I was angry. I burned out hardcore. And
Mm-hmm.
that probably was what triggered and led to my also then being diagnosed. So in end of 2021, I finally got diagnosed with IBS because I skipped my wellness visits all of 2020. 2021 was all of just trying to figure out because I didn't keep my medical team in the loop about what I was experiencing. And so it took us, 4 doctors, 2 procedures to figure out what was wrong with me when I'm already, again, just daily in that grind of taking care of my young child and trying to keep my husband alive. So it was a lot to take in and trying to build a business so that way we could, replace my income since I had quit
Right,
my career to be home full time because it was just not safe, with the pandemic and having a small even if the pandemic wasn't ongoing, it would still it was still the best option because someone needs to be there on site all the time to make sure that he's
right,
okay. And because our daughter can't call 911, she can't triage or administer medications or treatments if
right.
something happens. So it's like, what do you do? So
Oh my. Okay, so now we gotta delve. Now we gotta delve into you because you didn't open up a whole new can of worms. Okay, so you mentioned you had a diagnosis of hypothyroidism, right?
mhm.
Okay, so can you delve into what that is for people that don't know, and also how did that even come about?
So about 2020, or not 2020, sorry, when I was 22, I just was really sluggish. I was also dealing with I was coming out of that was a rough year because I was coming out of a not good relationship,
Mm-hmm.
dating relationship. We'll leave it at that. And there was also a lot of other stress going on because my mom was chronically ill and doing, not had was having some rough patches with her health again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just not feeling well. I just really got depressed. And so a blood test was how we figured out that my thyroid was out of alignment. So, and people don't know or realize, but your thyroid is a really small organ, but when it's out of alignment, a lot of other things are out of alignment. So that's why you feel sluggish, why your gut is not good, why you might have trouble losing weight, why you might have trouble it can manifest in other ways. So some people, obviously for me, I'd say my the biggest struggle I have is with my metabolism and with my digestive system problems.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, I read articles where there was, I wish I could find it, but there was this really interesting article I read that specified about 300 different impacts that an overactive or underactive thyroid can have on your body. It could be, it can range from heart problems to anxiety to digestive problems like what I deal with, depression. I mean, there's just so many things. It's like when that the little organ is out of whack, the rest of you can be potentially out of whack.
Right, right.
So, and pretty much how they test for it is just a blood test. It's called your TISH. So they just take a sample of your blood and they just test the numbers for your thyroid to see if it's, what they say is good or not good.
Mm-hmm. So for you, when someone does have hypothyroid. Dang, say that 5 times fast.
Hypothyroidism. Yeah, I know. It's a tongue twister.
Man, what is something, or what are some remedies that can help kind of balance it out, kind of help with kind of lowering or just leveling it out?
Well, medication is usually one. I've been on levothyroxine. That's a standard medication that a lot of people with thyroid get given doses of
Hmm.
of levothyroxine for underactive thyroid. Uh, I know for me, what has also helped is since the biggest thing I have is digestive issues. Going plant based really helped me a lot because
Hmm.
I noticed a big change because I just couldn't handle meat and
Yeah,
dairy anymore, soy, and it's gotten worse with my IBS. I have an even more limited diet now, but that kind of helped. But everyone's different,
yeah.
yeah, everyone's different. So,
Man, that's okay. So now we got to delve into the IBS. So now, as we're moving forward in your life, can you explain to people what is IBS, and also how did that diagnosis come about?
pulling back to 2020, I started having, I'd been able to eat plant based and I'd done well. I lost 30 pounds when I went plant based. That's initially how I conceived our daughter. And
Mhm.
but fast forward to 2020, after my husband was diagnosed and we were in the pandemic, I started having a lot more food intolerances. Like things that I would eat plant based, like rice and beans and onions, even. I was just having a lot, and I was getting sick and just constantly in the bathroom, being stuck going to the bathroom and just feeling sick, and just having
Mhm.
a lot of trouble and not being able to eat anything. I actually lost a lot of weight. I also lost some weight too. So that triggered that, okay, this is more than just my usual IBS digestive problems. And so that's when I started going to the doctor. I started with my primary. We tested me for like bowel, infection,
Yeah, yeah.
UTI. We did lab samples with my blood. Uh, and with that, we found out that I was vitamin D and iron deficient. So then I had to start on meds for that, and I still take that today to keep balanced out. Yay! And then we did an ultrasound to make sure there was nothing wrong with like my pancreas or my colon, all those different things. And
Right.
then finally I started. So then when we kind of figured out, okay, let's get you on meds for iron, let's get you on meds for vitamin D, we got that ironed out. We still didn't know what was wrong because I was still having attacks and I was
Mm.
having so many food intolerances. So then we transitioned me to a GI doctor, a gastroenterologist. And he said, well, you have the classic symptoms, I believe, of either two things, either IBD, which is irritable bowel disorder, or you have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. IBD, you can prove that you have that by taking a sample of your colon. So doing a colonoscopy,
Mhm.
then we can take a sample and test it. But
Mhm.
if the sample comes back clean, then that's really that's how we get the diagnosis of IBS. There's no
IBS.
like blood test. It's kind of like with epilepsy. There's no standard like testing, or it's really the culmination of like you eliminate every other possibility of medical wise of what it could be, and that's what you get. So
And
that's what
that's,
happened
yeah.
with me. I did have a colonoscopy done, and the test came back clean. So that's how we figured out that I have IBS. So
Oh my gosh. So with IBS, what are like some things that you have to do to help maintain it, to help relieve the
mhm,
pain,
yeah,
whatever that process looks like?
yeah. I drink a lot of water, hence why I have my water bottle with me, and I'm gonna take a
Uh-huh.
little sip
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now because my mouth is getting dry. There. And then I have to take probiotics. I take and then I take a over-the-counter medicine that is supposed to help with like the cramping and belly pain. It's called Ibugard. It's just an over-the-counter med I got from my GI doctor.
Hmm.
And then I obviously I still eat plant-based to some degree. I just can't do like the grain aspect of it anymore because I'm soy intolerant now and grain intolerant, just all these different things. I have started taking Plexus, which is a natural gut supplement, which has helped because I have been able to here and there reintroduce a few food intolerances in, but I still also have kind of backpedaled with some attacks because it's give and take. When your body's healing,
Right.
you have your good days and bad days. So I still haven't been able to totally introduce foods all the way.
Yeah.
It's just kind of little spurts. And obviously, and then a lot of IBS people or people who are diagnosed with IBS do follow what's called the FODMAP diet. So it's a list of very limited, excuse me, limited fruits and vegetables and like
Mm-hmm.
oils. It by category, it's very limited. So pretty much I'm down to right now. I'm down to if I stick strictly to the FODMAP diet, it would be potatoes, parsnips, beets, carrots, blueberries, strawberries, um, no dairy, obviously, because of me being dairy intolerant. But there's
Mm-hmm.
this whole list of, it's crazy. There's this whole list of things of different proteins, of what you can and can't do. Obviously, since I'm meat intolerant, I can't do that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's very complicated. My case is a little different because I have some other extreme intolerances.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man.
So yeah.
And I'm over here like I deal with a lot of allergies and allergens and I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. And I'm over here like, yeah, I ain't dealing with nothing compared to you. Man. I mean you just never know what people deal with. Like that's just man. But I will say this. Um, Out of everything that you told me, like the fact that you still chose and are choosing to take care of your husband despite all that you're dealing with, I think that is amazing and that's very selfless because one, being a caregiver is selfless just in itself. And a lot of
Mhm.
people don't acknowledge caregivers. My mom is my caregiver, so I know firsthand, what that, although I do have my independence, but there are some things that I need help with, so I definitely commend you and I appreciate and I always want to give caregivers their flowers because I understand. So thank
Yeah,
you.
it's hard whether
Yeah.
you're a caregiver personally or professionally. It's still hard. It's
Yeah.
still hard, because but I will say for those who are listening, if they are a caregiver, if they're just starting that phase of being a caregiver, to just really keep your cup full first, because it all starts with you. If you don't take care of your mind, your body, your soul, it's a house of cards. You're not going to be able to
Hmm.
fulfill. You're no good to yourself. You're
Yeah.
no good to your loved one who's sick. And if you're also an entrepreneur, if you're a mom like I am, you're no good to your children. And then if you're also a entrepreneur like I am, you're no good to your clients. So it really all
I.
starts with you. And so at there's that self care is just such a buzzword on the internet. It has been for years. But I will say, after experiencing burnout, my own chronic health issues, amid the challenges of caring for my husband, my daughter, other family members, and
Hmm.
trying to go after my dreams, still chase my dreams, it is so paramount. It is
Yeah.
so paramount that you take care of yourself because no one else is going to take care of you. You
Right.
have to advocate for yourself. And when you're taking on the role of being a caregiver, you are essentially being an advocate for somebody else.
Hmm.
So,
So true.
you so
So for you, like, what are some? You can a few things. It don't matter. But what are some things that helped you as far as caregiving? I mean,
having
as far as self care.
self-care, okay. Um Whatever works for you. I know for me, mind, body, soul. So what does that look like? I know for body, it's something as simple as just getting hydrating well, getting enough sleep, having
Mm-hmm.
consistent bedtime and get up time. That has really done wonders with me, especially with over the last year since my daughter's been in school. We've had a more consistent schedule. So that's actually been a gold mine for me.
Right.
Also, eating well, movement, even guys, you don't have to go to the gym. Okay. Just 15 minutes of movement, whether it's dancing to, like today, my daughter and I were blowing bubbles in the backyard while my husband mowed the lawn and we were just dancing. We were playing Simon Says for like 15, 20 minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
that was some movement. And we got some fresh air or even a walk, get some movement in, so your body stays strong. For your mind, whether it's personally speaking, I'm a Christian. So spending some time in God's word, journaling.
Mm-hmm.
I also am a big journaler. And I do a lot of, and I've really adapted a lot of mindset journaling with over the last 4 years, 3, 4 years, with building my business from my business coaches. So mindset can be a huge one, or even talking to somebody professionally. Like I know mental health gets a bad rap, but guys, it's so important that you take care of your
Yeah.
mind. So a counselor, a therapist, I know it can feel scary talking to somebody like that, but I did leverage that in my early 20s, and I tell you, they are there to help you through traumatic situations. They're trained to deal with trauma, and they have that confidentiality factor, and they can give you, not, yes, there is the element maybe of medication. I was on some depressive meds for a while in my early 20s when I was dealing with a lot with my thyroid being out of balance. That was part of the treatment we did to also, besides taking my levothyroxine, I was on some low dose of depressive med for a while, and it really helped, and I don't regret it. But they're also trained to help you with natural talk techniques like breathing and mindset and other stuff. And if you're in a situation where maybe you need some more help, getting
Mm,
your foot in the door with a counselor or a therapist is great, because then they can refer you. So there's power in that. Or if you're more spiritually sound, have a conversation one on one with your leader of faith, your pastor, your rabbi, whatever faith you are. If it's been a while and you've been kind of disconnected from your congregation of faith, this might be the opportune time. I personally have done that recently in the last, I'd say, 2 years, when I was dealing with so much with being a sandwich caregiver, caring for my dad, caring for my husband. I was a mom trying to build my business. I was like, and my health was out of control. It was too much. So having a couple, just 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour conversations,
mm-hmm.
um, helped. Yes, Myrtle,
Yeah.
the word does help. So amen, girl.
Yeah.
Um, just doing things that light you up, and even just maybe fun things that aren't necessarily mindset or spiritual based. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's just having fun. For me, I've been a knitter since I was like 10 years old. So, and I haven't really done this year. Is the first year I've actually been really trying to get back in the habit of picking up my needles again, because I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really done a lot of knitting since our daughter was born, because my husband was sick and there's been so
Right.
much other stuff that's gone on. So hobbies or passions, think about that. What is something that brings you joy? Is it riding your bike? Is it doing an art class? Is it doing
Right.
pottery?
Right.
Is it doing painting? Pick that up. Or maybe has there been a particular passion or interest that you've had on the back burner for a while, but you've been dragging your feet and not doing it? Now's the time. You only get this one life. And even amid
Mm-hmm.
chronic illness, whether you yourself are chronically ill or you're caregiving for someone who's chronically ill, this is your time to shine. This is your only life that you get, guys. And I want you to reach for the stars, okay? And to
I
not
love it.
be limited by your circumstances. And I can't promise that you're never going to ever experience more trauma, more pain, more hardship, but man, there is such a huge opportunity for you to stand into your power and leverage the life that God has given you, because you
Mm-hmm.
have
I
certain
love.
talents.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody has certain
Absolutely.
gifts and talents, and I feel like um if you don't tap into that, someone's missing out on becoming a better person because you refuse to do what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, and this is something that I feel and I believe is so real. What you go through and what you deal with is not for you. It's for somebody else. It's for somebody else's life. It's to better somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not about you at all. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to
No.
be doing, someone else is missing out. Someone else is
Exactly.
missing
I
out.
definitely, well, it was so exactly. Well, it's so funny you say that, because I remember when I was first working with my business coach and I was trying to figure out what I wanted my business to be and what I wanted my framework and my model to be. And I was
Mm-hmm.
overthinking it like so much. And I was like, oh, I don't want to necessarily talk about my professional career or my personal experiences, but essentially that's what any business owner does. They've been through something. And yeah, oh, Jacqueline, yes, walking or exercising, yes, low impact. And if
Yes,
you have
Mom
chronic
Jackie.
illness, I'm going to segue from it. Yes, doing something low impact is definitely beneficial. I know for me with
Mhm.
my hypothyroidism, actually doing really hard cardio actually does do more harm than good. I will say for people with hypothyroidism. So low impact, so like swimming or like walking, yoga, things
Mhm.
like that, that are, or maybe bike riding that's a little gentle.
Mhm.
Those kinds of things are a lot better to where you get some movement in to keep your heart strong, but you're
Right.
not overdoing it and send it
Over.
into
Yeah.
overdrive. So
Not
that is something to be
the.
aware of when you're thinking about your movement, about what your limitations are. Maybe
Mhm.
it's not necessarily an illness, but an injury. I personally have a back injury that I sustained when I was a CNA from trying to lift someone. I did injure under my back, and I was out of work for a month. And I'm lucky I didn't need surgery, and I did have physical therapy for it. But the physical therapist did say, like, okay, like I've gotten you back to where you're released to go back to work, but just be mindful that if you do something like that again, I can't promise you that you may not need surgery or something worse, is going to impact your body. So,
So true.
be mindful about what your limitations are, both with your chronic illness or your loved one's chronic health, and also maybe any potential just injuries or,
Mhm.
movement issues, mobility issues that might be limiting you or impacting
Mhm.
your ability to get that movement in. Because we don't want to make it worse. We want to make it better or keep you stable to where you are getting the best quality of life.
Yes, exactly. That is so true. I love that. I think that's great. That's super great information because a lot of times when we're in the moment, we don't think about ourselves. But if we're not capable of handling who we're trying to take care of, both of us can't be down.
No, no, that's the thing. Exactly. Like, where's that safety net? That's the thing. It's like,
Right.
your loved one you are your loved one's safety net. So that means that you need to be tenfold in making sure that you're your own safety net. It really
Yes.
comes down to that. I know that sounds terrible and cliche, but it's so true. You need to make
Yeah.
sure that you take that goes back to that concept of filling your cup first. If you want to be able to fill your clients, your loved one, your children, whoever you're
Hmm.
caregiving for, cup, you need to make sure your cup's full first too,
Right.
all the time. 365 days a year,
Yes.
24/7, girl. It has to be all the time.
Yeah.
And it's going to give and take. Okay. My
Hmm.
husband's doing better in his health, and I'm still struggling with mine. So there's that element too. It's kind of like that, a weight machine or a
Hmm.
pendulum. Like, it's going to
Yeah.
swing back and forth. It's never going to stay totally the same. And so, with that being said, be open and pay attention to what you're needing in the season that you're in. Maybe one season you're really needing a lot of physical health. Maybe another it's mental or emotional. I definitely went through this when I over the last 2 years, I would say, with my own recovery from burnout, from caregiver burnout. The first year was very much my physical health because I was trying to get my IBS diagnosed, and then once it was diagnosed, trying to get back on track with how to get my health stabilized. And then
Hmm.
after that, I would say, because I've had some undealt with stress and anger at the Lord, which there's nothing, no shame in that. It's okay to ask why of your higher power, because we're human bodies and we're human bodies, and we have human emotions, and it's normal that we need to
Yeah.
express these feelings of anger, fear, sadness. The problem is when we bottle them up like a pressure cooker, and then we don't deal with them and they explode and
Next.
manifest in a bad way, like more
Hmm.
health issues, shouting at our kids or our loved ones unnecessarily, or doing irrational things. That's where it becomes a problem. But never feel shame for expressing being. It's okay to be scared.
Right.
It's
So
okay to
true.
be. It's okay to be angry.
Right.
Okay, it's not. It's hard. It's hard dealing with a chronic illness. It's hard to build a business. It's hard to, try to balance and navigate this path of taking care of family and everything else. Yes, Patrice. Yes, absolutely. We all go through various emotions. Yes, we do, and there's no
But
shame in it.
right.
But as your own advocate and keeping that cup full, I just want to make sure that y'all are dealing with those emotions in a healthy way. So we're
Right.
not impacting your health, we're not impacting your loved one's health, we're not impacting your quality of life, we're not impacting your ability to go after your God-given dreams.
Right, so true. And yeah, that was my mom. That and she's my caregiver, so she definitely understands all the emotions, but I definitely appreciate you sharing your story, and I appreciate you giving the help that's what's needed, not only just girl, you're going to get this right. Good night. Vulnerably, there we go, vulnerably, but also professionally, from personal experience but also professional experience, And then also you went through it and you're going through it. I think that's amazing. And I feel like people, more people that don't know how to navigate through that, I feel like you're one of the top persons that they need to be connected to. Um, Sometimes I slow down and pray, take it easy. There are different seasons. That's true, Mom Jackie.
Yes,
Seasons,
absolutely.
seasons.
And
So
there's
true.
different things in that season that you might leverage. I know worship music right now has just been so powerful. That's where I meet with the Lord. That has just definitely helped me a
Man.
lot. I just love Evolution Worship right now. Mercy Me. I've
Yes.
been blasting that stuff, y'all. I would, if for those of you who are Christian of the Christian faith, maybe something that has been fun for me that my Christian life coach actually had me do that I hadn't thought about is create a worship playlist on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube or Spotify. Save your favorite worship songs, and then you can just run that sucker again and again for
Yeah.
worship music, or like what I, and then or like I don't know what you have where y'all are, but our local Christian radio station just launched an app to where we can um listen to the radio station on the go from our phone. So like when I'm in here working in my office, girl,
Oh
I
yeah.
blast that thing while I'm working.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
great vibe, you know, and we
Oh yeah.
always have it on when I'm in the car. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Every night I have my music playing, and I think the beautiful thing about worship music is there are words that you don't think about saying, but you need God to hear.
Absolutely. And there's
It's
so much
it's
truth in them too. Like one of my favorite songs right now by Elevation Worship is Mercy. It's like, it's like, there's a line in there that talks about how, I deserved to be in the ground, but yet your mercy saved me. It's
yeah.
like,
So
hello,
true. You're
you
right.
know, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I love worship music. My mom said, "Oh yeah, I trust in God, my Savior." Yes,
Yes, amen. Another good
that's
one.
it.
That's Elevation Worship. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That one is on repeat on my playlist. Hello.
That's
Yeah,
another.
it's
We
good.
were just listening to that song today. Like
Yeah.
I'm just blasting it, playing it. I love
Yeah.
worship music, and I'm so glad that um, first of all, I'm so glad that I have a platform that I could be able to express how I feel.
Hmm.
But I can also be able to have a conversation with like-minded people like you, that just also just give the confirmation and the validation of what is going to keep you grounded, and that is our Savior. Like you can't
Yes,
get no further
Jackie. I
down.
love it. Yes. Learn to say no. Boundary setting. That's another important thing.
Yes.
It's okay to say
And you
no.
don't feel bad about it. That's good, Mom Jackie.
No guilt, no shame. You have to learn to say no. If you have
Yeah.
too much on your plate right now, the last thing I want you to do, y'all, is add something else to your plate. You don't have the bandwidth for it.
Right.
Okay. So it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Okay. And if they don't
It's
understand why you're saying no, it's okay. There's our business. My business coach says it so well. There's our business, there's other people's business, and there's God's business. And we have to, our main goal is to stay in our business. And we just have to let God have control of the reins. And then we have to just stay out of other people's business because they are allowed to have their own experience. We can't control what they're going to do.
that
So
is
if they have
so
a problem with us saying no, we're allowed to let them have their experience, and we just go on with protecting what we need in this. Yes, we can't pour from an empty cup. Yes, Charlotte, worship helps fill our
come
cups.
on.
Amen, girl. Yes, come on, girl.
Come on,
That's
Joe.
right.
That's what I'm talking about. See, I
Yeah.
love I love y'all so much. And I all this is like I'm taking it for myself. I'm
Yes.
taking it for myself because this is so good information. Can you tell everyone where they can find you, where they can find your coaching services, where they can find you personally? Where can we follow you at?
Girl, buckle up. I'm everywhere. So you can find me on my Instagram. I'm at Melissa Miller 2011 on Instagram, Facebook, on my business page at Caregiving Entrepreneurship Reimagined, YouTube at Caregiver Entrepreneur Reimagined, my website, www.caregivingentrepreneurshipreimagine.com, or you can email me at melissamiller@tyrosupermom.com. So I am everywhere. So reach out, shoot me a DM, leave a comment. Your girl will follow up with you if you are needing my services.
Good. Thank you, Gabe. You everyone, please connect with her. This is her information. Instagram at Melissa Miller 2001, website 2011, my bad. Website www.caregivingentrepreneur
Yeah,
reimagined
reimagine.com. Yes.
reimagine.com. YouTube at caregiving and entrepreneurship reimagined, and Facebook care. Listen, y'all see it, okay? Where are you pointing at, Domo? Y'all see it. Y'all follow her because I already follow her everything. So there's that. I ain't gonna tell y'all to do it if I ain't doing it. Period. Point. And
Yeah.
that's just what it is. But that's how
Yeah.
it. But I love. First of all, because we said it at the beginning, we said this episode was gonna be super dope.
Yeah.
We already said it from the beginning. Period. Be free in
Yeah.
Christ. Thank you, Mom Jackie.
Amen, Jackie. Yep. Be free in
I
Him.
love that.
God
Love
bless
you,
you. Oh,
Keisha.
Keisha. Yes. I am so glad.
Love
Yeah.
you,
And
Keisha.
yeah, any of your listeners, if you guys have any questions, please shoot me a DM, reach out. I'd be happy to chat with you if you guys
Please.
have any questions. Or if you just need a little pep talk,
Okay.
yeah.
And y'all shoot Christian based, and y'all already know. Y'all know how we get down over here. Period. Melissa, thank you so much for gracing the stage. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you for being open and honest and vulnerable, not just on your personal journey, but also you being a caregiver, um, and you being a caregiver regarding your husband and your husband's journey. And also just thank you for also sharing your professionalism on how to live a balanced life,
Hmm.
how to live a life of happiness, and how to live a life of taking care of not just yourself, but the people, minding your business, staying out of other people's business, and letting God do his own business.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate it so much. Thank you again. I don't take it lightly at
Oh,
all.
well, thank you for having me, Domo. It's been a treat, a real treat to come on your show, share my story, and connect with some of your listeners. What lovely people you have in this community. I wish you nothing but success moving forward, and I hope that our conversation, my hope and prayer is that our conversation definitely encourages and blesses whoever watches it, whether they watched it today with us tonight or when they watch the replay, that it will just really encourage them with whatever they're going through. Because let's face
Thank
it, we
you.
need connection. Oh, Patrice, sending love back to you, girl. Thanks for showing
Thank
up. It was
you.
so nice to see you.
Thank you so much. Gabe's gonna put you in the back. We're gonna end the show real quick and we're gonna be out of here. Love you, Mom Jackie. Oh my God. See, I'm saying, like, I mean, last week we wasn't in there, but this week we in there. You feel me? I thank you, Melissa, so much. Like, man, her story was powerful. Her journey is powerful. Like, I mean, and she's a coach, so her nuggets were even more powerful. Like, come on now. I mean, that's how we do. You feel me? Like, that's how we get down on this show. And I'm just saying. All right, so let's get to the church announcements real quick, and then we're gonna be out of here because people got things to do, and we ain't about to. I ain't about to hold y'all in church too long. Not around here. All right, so first church announcement: if you have a disability, medical condition, and or you are an essential caregiver, meaning, but a lot of people don't know what that means. So you're a nurse, you're a caregiver, you're in the practice of the medical field or the mental health field, because that's important too. We love hearing about people that have a professional in some knowledge on mental health, because that's very important. If you are one of those, or if you have a disability and or medical condition, and you want to be a guest on the show, or if you know someone that qualifies under those categories and they want to be a guest on the show, holla at me. Let me know. And this is the disclaimer. Don't be hitting me up if you got a paper cut on your finger, if you ran into the wall and your big toe hurt, or if you nubbed your elbow, or if you hit your funny bone and you hurt your shin. Put some Neosporin on that mug, slap some lotion and some vitamin E oil, and go about your business. You feel me? We need some real. Y'all heard my guess. We need some real life stories around here. You feel me? Real life. How I mean, we gotta represent God, and we can't be representing God if you got a paper cut, because God be doing His big business. So we about to show Him. You feel me? And we about to spread the word. You got to go through some hard stuff so we can show you, so we can show God how dope He is. You feel me? Love you, Mom Charlotte. So if you have a disability, medical condition, or you're a central caregiver, thank you, Mom Deborah. Love you. Holla at me. Let me know. Also, next Tuesday, we are live and in living color. Thank you, Gabe. 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 10 p.m. Eastern. You already know how we get down with the get down. My guests are super dope. So, uh, come on. Come on. Y'all know. Okay. As long as y'all know. All right, so we out of here. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for listening to see what are you talking about, Domo? Like, girl, what you talking about this week? I appreciate it. I don't take it lightly. I'm gonna say it every single episode because you don't have to watch me at all. You ain't even got to tune in. You can be making your dinner. Okay? You can make macaroni and cheese or some green beans. I don't know. But I appreciate it and I don't take it lightly. We about to head out. Y'all know don't log off though, because it's some special news. It's not really that special. Don't lie on national TV no more. It's some just watch. I love y'all. We out. I love y'all. Period. Y'all better love me too. All right, Gabe, get me out of here. Y'all ain't know what to do. Until next time, love you.